Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Imperfectly Impactful. I am so excited to be bringing you this episode as we are going to talk a little bit about why I chose to start this podcast and how I came up with the name Imperfectly Impactful and why I am here doing this and want to continue doing this into the very, very, very far future. So I'll start a little bit about why I started the podcast. And I briefly touched on this in the first episode where I discussed how I was at this moment where I woke up one day and felt this need to share my story. And I've listened to so many podcasts now. I know so many people who have either started or have a podcast just in this network I have been introduced to since August, and felt this strong need to share what I have gone through and what I am going through currently in the past few months and how my whole life has impacted me to this moment. And it's my turn now to share it so that I can hopefully impact you and inspire you to go after your dreams and do the things that maybe you never thought you could do. Because there were lots of ideas, and I continuously have many ideas, but I could still, to this day, have those moments where this is not right. I am not the right fit for this. And a little bit of imposter syndrome, as you probably have heard many times from people, has settled into me. And I was staying where I was comfortable, and hotels was where I was happy. And over those few weeks and transitioning jobs and going on 30-day wellness challenge and not drinking, eating better, working out, I kind of started realizing that I have some underlying things and I'm not alone. And you're not alone in what you're going through. There are so many other people out there that are going through what you are going through as well in different ways, but all relatable. And I want to be here to share my story, bring other people on to share their stories so that you ultimately can be able to see there are others out there that can help you, that have gone through it and are on either the other side or in the midst of it, almost to the end and almost through to the other side. And we together can do it. And as Lindsay Schwartz says, we cannot do life or business alone. So that is a whole piece of why I started this, is to be able to hopefully influence, motivate you, inspire you to go after those dreams and your goals, even if they're crazy big, and start breaking them down smaller. So step by step by step, you can reach to that point and get to that point. The other side of this is kind of me breaking down who I am and who I want to ultimately impact. And if you don't know me well, I am a high achieving woman, and I know many of you out there are as well. I went through a huge career transition just recently and continuously will be going through a big career transition and goals and dreams of mine. And I am really diving into who I am and trying to discover who Catherine is, who am I meant to be. And those are the individuals I am looking for to come and listen to me, women in particular, and come join me and let me share my story, because I bet you can relate to it. I know there's many people already who have and who have influenced me to this point. And so it's my turn to try to see if I can, while I'm still being impacted, I still have my coaches and I still have a community and mini mastermind and all these things that are really helping me get through. But I really want to be here. If you are one of those women, if you are one of those individuals, that I can sit here and help you get through those, help get through the struggles, help get through what's holding you back, to ultimately take that little step forward, that minuscule step to the next thing, to ultimately get you in the right direction. That's going to be the long run. My little tiny step was going by myself to the Powerhouse Women event. That one little step caused this whole chain of reaction. So no, it doesn't take a lot to get to that point. But I'll be here on this podcast, hopefully one day, working one-on-one, in person, whatever it looks like in the future. And we don't know yet what the future holds, but I want to be here to guide you, give you that permission to go after what you want to, become aware of how you're feeling when something happens, or when you do something, you're asked to do something, whether that's at work or at home or in life. Be vulnerable. This is very unexplored territory for me by being open, my story and sharing it with you all. And I am having to be vulnerable in the midst of it. But ultimately, all of this has taken action to share my story, to motivate you, to inspire you. I've had to take the action of doing what's right for me, getting a coach, going down a new career path, choosing these things, and taking the action when I had the feeling to do that. I'm building my confidence. I'm shifting my identity completely. I have gone through and still going through a big transition, and I do not know what the next few years hold. I know my goals, I know my dreams, both long term, short term, and there's all this in between that everything will come in place and in line to what I want and hope for. But it's surrounding myself with the right people. And I am hoping to surround myself with the right people with this podcast and bring you all into my world and show you what I have gone through, show you what our guests have gone through to get you to the other side. Now, the other side of it is the name Imperfectly Impactful. I did go a little bit into this already. I've talked about it a lot to some people. And basically, it is very simple. I am wanting to show that you can make an impact on yourself or others by being imperfect. You do not have to make perfect actions. Everything does not have to be perfectly in place, perfectly in line. And trust me with this podcast, none of it has been so far. I am learning as I go. I am editing as I go. I have gone through, fortunately, a Start Your Jam podcast, a little live course that I learned a lot in and had help. But still, this is just me. I'm talking into a computer screen in a room by myself with my two dogs. And I have never done anything like this before. And I am doing it for you and to show you that you can do it no matter where you are. I have heard of people doing their podcast in closets. I have seen and heard so many different things, and it's just about starting. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I did. I had the idea. I sat on it for like 3 days, I want to say, making sure it was ultimately the right thing for me, because I have lots of different ideas and I am very good at like going after it at the beginning. And then, a week or so into it, realizing that wasn't the right thing. But something just felt right. My body, my intuition was telling me this is the right thing for you to do, Catherine. It's the right next step for you in the midst of everything you're going through. And I thought about putting it off till next year. I thought about putting it on the side until I had the time. And then I was like, nope, I have to put a date on it. I have to say, this is the day I'm starting the podcast and I'm doing an episode once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, I'm setting a plan and doing it. And I cannot back down, because once I start, I'm starting, and I'm committed to this for a minimum of 2 years. No less, much, much more if possible, but minimum 1 episode a week for 2 years. And then it might transition, it might change. I'll see how I'm feeling, but I continuously have this the feeling that this is all right. I'm doing the right thing. I'm going down the right path with every decision I've made so far in this transition. I have not looked back and regretted. And the podcast is one thing that I am nervous as crap and I am not doing well, but I know it is the right thing. It's what I need to get out of my little box and comfort zone and become uncomfortable and share my story and bring others into my world that hopefully I can impact. And then you are able to then go out and impact others and inspire others as well, and bring them into the community, invite them with us and to share with us their stories. And that's what I want to do. I can't wait to hear from all of you, your thoughts on the podcast. How are things going? What are you going through? Maybe how can we help you along the way? So that ultimately is the why I started the podcast, why I chose the name. And it all comes down to, if I've bounced all different directions, as you can tell, it all came down to, it is my time. And I feel like in my body, I need to share my story so that I can motivate and inspire others, such as yourself, you, the listeners, the ones listening, and can hopefully be impacted in a positive way. And we can build a community and we can build accountability. And give each other the permission to go be us, go be our true, authentic selves, discover who that is if you don't know who that is, or continue discovering, as I am doing, who you are, who you want to be, and where you want to go. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you understand the why and you continue to join me twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays. It's a whirlwind of an amazing thing of doing this podcast. And I'm excited because over the next few weeks, we finally will be getting some guest speakers on here. I have spoken to a few people and we will be getting them on to tell their stories and see what also opportunities they have to help you into becoming your true authentic self. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and I will see you next time.